Hey friend, welcome to the Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcast. I'm Micah McCurry, your host. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today, and I'm looking forward to our discussion points for this week. You know, about 4, 5, maybe 6 times throughout the year, I really do a deep dive and do my best to bring you up to date on what's going on at the ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. And today, and this week, that's my desire. Now, you may be wondering, why is it that you, our listener today, should care about what's going on at Bible Tracts Incorporated? And that's a fair point and a good question. Well, let me put your mind at ease as to why you should continue listening to the Bible Tract Echoes radio program today. This ministry, of course, we could talk about its history, 80 plus years. Dr. Paul Levine, our founder, passed away in 1996, and thank the Lord, God continues to bless the work of this ministry. But in the moment, in the current, in the present, I'm so excited to tell you about what God is doing through this ministry, and I truly believe you should consider listening to what we have to talk about today, because God is doing a work not only here in the good old US of A, but across the world. Right now, literally as we speak, we are working on putting some pallets of gospel tracts, about 250,000 gospel tracts, about 1,600 pounds of gospel tracts into South American countries. We have another 2 pallets going to Oceania, going to New Zealand. We're very excited about what God is doing, but that's not all. I could tell you about some things going on closer to home as well. That's my desire today and this week. I'm going to ask you, if you would, to come along on a short journey as we take a tour of our latest newsletter. This newsletter is titled Overflowing. Have you ever helped a child get a drink of water, help them get a cup together? And oftentimes when they're just transitioning from a sippy cup to a real cup, sometimes there can be a few issues. There can be some messes made, some accidents happen. Of course, normally it's just due to maybe a childish lack of hand-eye coordination and all of those things. But if you've ever watched a child grasp a gallon of water, what is a gallon? About 8 pounds or so, and a little child of 4 or 5 years old, and they try to pour their own drink, and they're trying to demonstrate their independence. I have a 5-year-old and I have a 3-year-old, Emmy and Lucy. Some of you may have heard them on the radio broadcast a few weeks ago, but they are both, Emmy probably more so, but they are both very independent-minded. They're not wallflowers by any stretch of the imagination, and I enjoy, honestly I do, the fact that they are a little bit strong-willed. It makes for an interesting and requires a lot of prayer, we'll put it that way. But regardless, Emmy sometimes will want to do things by herself. And so she will, with all the strength that she can muster, she will grasp that gallon of water, or she'll grasp that pitcher of water. And with much fear and trepidation, we watch her do her best to pour her own glass of something to drink. And normally we'll allow her to do it when it's water. Now, when it's juice, sometimes Daddy steps in because I don't want purple grape juice stains all over the kitchen. But when it's water, we give her some rope, let her try some things for herself. But sometimes she can lose control. Instead of filling that glass half full, instead of filling it 3/4 full, she fills it to overflowing. Well, as I think about those messes that are made, I think of the fact that you and I, if we're honest with ourselves, we are overflowing with the goodness of God. Now, you may be asking, what does that have to do with this little newsletter that I'm holding in my hand right now? Well, this newsletter we send out about 4 times a year to all of our donors, people that partner with our ministry in a financial way. If the Lord is leading you to do that, We'd love to hear from you. You can contact us. You can go to our website. But right now, let me just take you on a little tour. And as we talk about this idea of being overflowing, I kind of referenced that thought in the very first little article inside this newsletter. Here's what I said. The title being We Are Overflowing, and a little subtitle, 365 Days of Thanksgiving. I begin with a quote from a song that you may recall and be able to quote along with me. Maybe you could even sing it with me. Maybe we'll have to put together a choir sometime, but here's what I began with. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms. You know, the words of that song mean more to me today than ever before. You know, so often in the darkest moments of life, the good hand of Almighty God reaches down and lifts me up. Often his hand resembles and takes the shape of your hands. You see, friend, you are an encouragement to me. And yes, parenthetically, pause for just a moment. I'm speaking to you right now, not just to those that are financial donors. Those folks and all of you that give to our ministry, you mean a lot. But can I tell you, friend, more than just giving, the fact that you're listening right now, you are giving of that most valuable essence, your time. We continue on. You are a blessing to me, and I am thankful for you. A.W. Tozer said it well when he stated, gratitude is an offering precious in the sight of God, and it is one that the poorest of us can make, and be not poorer, but richer for having made it. What a thought. I am overflowing with gratefulness for your investments, for your prayers, and care for my family and this ministry. The cards we receive, the calls you make, and the prayers we feel are such a gift. I would be remiss if I did not say a resounding, and this was in all caps, thank you. I know we are some weeks away, and still are, some weeks away from the official Thanksgiving season. But I feel like it's Thanksgiving all year round as we here at Bible Tracts Incorporated serve on your behalf. Please know how precious you are to us. As you hear about the blessings of God in this publication, please know that so much of it would not be possible without people like you. And I can only echo what I wrote a few weeks ago when I put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard and wrote that short note. I was thinking not just about our donors. I was not just thinking about those that use our gospel tracts. We're very thankful for both of those segments, but I'm also thankful for each of you that are listening right now. I've mentioned before, but truly it would be the height of foolishness, the height of folly, for me to be sitting here in my office right now, talking to this microphone with no one on the other end listening. And so I very much appreciate the fact that you are listening right now. I also included a little quote from D.L. Moody. It says this, careful for nothing, prayerful for everything, thankful for anything. I hope that's you today. We continue on because I've got to tell you that you are invited. All are invited. The McCurry family, and that's my family, and Bible Tracts Incorporated will host our grand opening on Saturday, October 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. Central Time. That's just a short distance away. I think of my children again and how they can't handle concepts of time very well. Anything over about 4 or 5 minutes just gets too much for their little brains to understand. And so when I say things like 2 hours or 2 days or 2 weeks, it just gets into this kind of foggy area of that's too long, especially when they want something now, right? Well, we are truly only about 2 weeks away from the grand opening. We would love to see you there. If you can make it, please RSVP. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Please contact me. There is, I continue on by saying, only one grand opening. There may be open houses in the future, but there's only one grand opening, and I want to personally invite you to be in attendance. There will be free food, fun, fellowship, and the wonderful chance to observe the blessings of God. In addition, all in attendance will have the opportunity to be engaged with the international need for the gospel and some not so much breaking news, because you folks listening right now, you've heard this before, but Pastor Mark Smith, the beloved former director of Bible Tracts Incorporated, will be our guest of honor that day. Many of you loved hearing him on the radio for over a dozen years, and to commemorate the day, we are planning to record a few Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcasts that very day, Saturday, October 1st. You might, who knows, you might even get to be on the radio. We'll close the broadcast today with a verse or two. The Bible says in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 51, "Mine eye affecteth mine heart." Why are we having a grand opening? Well, I'll give you two reasons. Number one, it gives us a hard date for us to push for to get this renovation work and this building work done. I'll be honest with you, that's a big part of why we're doing it, because we want to have a goal to shoot for. Otherwise, things just trail on. You know how it goes when you don't set goals. But number two, and really the more important goal, is the opportunity for people like you to come and see what we do, because the Bible is very truthful when it says, "Mine eye affecteth mine heart." We hope you'll come with open eyes and a soft heart and see what God is doing. Lord willing, the renovations on our building will be entirely done. See how God has blessed us. We do have limited availability, so if you'd like to ensure that we have space for you, do the following. If you have questions or you'd like to RSVP, you can email us ASAP, as soon as possible. We need to know for food planning. We would hate to run out of food. You can email us at grandopening@BibleTractsInc.org. Grand opening at BibleTractsInc.org. You can call us at 309-828-6888. That's 309-828-6888. We look forward to seeing you Saturday, October 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. Central Time. The address, the physical address. Now, this is not our normal mailing address, but the physical address, if you're able to make it, is 603 West Prairie Street, Odell, Illinois, 60460. Again, of course, you can search this on Google Maps, Apple Maps. We've got all of our address things updated, Lord willing. We're no longer in Bloomington. If you see an address that says Bloomington, we're not there anymore. But physical address, 603 West Prairie Street, Odell, Illinois, 60460. We're going to continue kind of giving a behind-the-scenes glimpse of what's going on at Bible Tracts Incorporated the remainder of this week. My prayer today and tomorrow and this week and every day is that you have a great day for His glory. Thank you so much for listening to the Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcast. God bless.